Hello, friends. Today we are going to discuss a great novel, uh, War and Peace, as you can see on the screen. War and Peace has been written by Leo Tolstoy, a great Russian novelist, and we can say that he is the greatest author of all time. Leo Tolstoy's notable works include the novel War and Peace, which was written in 1869, and Anna Karenina, which was written in 1878. Along with that, he has written so many short stories and many other novels, but these two are much more popular. This novel that we are going to discuss today is regarded as the one of the finest literary achievements of Leo Tolstoy, and it still remains an internationally acclaimed classic of world literature. Though it is very bulky, so many people avoid to read that novel, but it is one of the best novels, one of the best classics that one has ever read. I am happy to read this. Today, um, as we know that the Tolstoy, he was living in the Tsarist Russia, and he's written about the story that he has weaved in this novel is about Napoleonic War and invasion of Napoleonic army in the Moscow, and in the background of that, the whole narrative of the whole fiction has been constructed, and interestingly he weaves fictional narrative as well as he writes chapter on history and philosophy. It details about the French invasion of Russia, as I have told you earlier, and the impact the this Napoleonic War has brought on the Russian society through the stories of five Russian aristocratic families. We can detail about these five Russian families, among which are the family of Bezukovs. The family of Bezukovs are aristocratic family, among which Count Bezukov Pierre is the prominent one, who somehow brings forth the reflection of Tolstoy himself on essential questions of life, death, mystery of universe, and the existence of God. Another family that is very prominent here is the family of Rostovs, in which our heroine Natasha Rostova is there, and along with her, Sonia is another prominent character. Another family that we see here is the family of Kuragins, of which the head of the family is Prince Vasily Kuragin, who wants to marry his children in rich families of Russia. Another family that is very prominent here is the family of Bolonskis, in which the Prince Andrew and Princess Maria are prominent characters. Along with that, we have family of Drobidatsky. They are also important character of the novel. If we look at the plot of the story, we see that the story begins with illegitimate son of Count Bezukov, who is Pierre. Pierre he's illegitimate son of his father. He does not have the very good social standing, and but therefore he is always counted as someone who is lost, who is awkward in social parties and gatherings. But his honest approach towards life makes him a friend with Prince Bolanskis that we have read about. At one occasion, Prince Andrew, who has been married to Lise, the little princess, tell him about his marital discord with his wife, and he also explains his lack of interest in mundane life of aristocratic Russia. And he also informs him that he to escape from the monotony of mundane life, he is going to join army, which he eventually joins. Days later, suddenly Pierre finds himself at the center of all interest when he is chosen as the sole owner of huge property of his father. The son who was earlier illegitimate is now becomes the most eligible bachelor for the marriage purpose among Russian aristocratic families. Eventually, Kurigin, Prince Vasily Kurgin, who always wanted to have his children get married into the rich families, finally gets succeed in winning Pierre's heart in getting his daughter Helen in marriage. Though Helen was never in love with Pierre and she was having many other affairs with many people, but due to his huge wealth, she chose to get married to him. And Pierre, to get bewitched with the beauty of Helen, finally agrees to marry her. But as they get married, Helen clearly informs it that she is not going to have children with him, as she does not love her and she has many other love interests in her life. Therefore, from the jealousy, he shoots one of suspected lover of his wife Helen, Doloko, in a duel. But when he gets her wife's his wife's lover shooted, he just get distorted and having committed a crime, and eventually he choose to separate from his wife and her life because her life doesn't suit to him. He tries to solace he tries to find solace in religious sect called Freemasonry and becomes Freemason. And through this religious sect, he tries to find search. He actually searches purpose of life and tries to find meaning of life, but he doesn't get fully satisfied. In the meantime, Prince Andrei Bolonsky, the best friend of Prince Pierre, who had gone into army, gets wounded at the Battle of Austerlitz. The famous Battle of Austerlitz. Lying down on the battlefield, he realizes that the triviality of human life and he himself believed that he can be happy. Earlier, he was always depressed over the mundane life, but he realizes that he can be happy too. However, his his father and his father, old Prince Bolonsky, and his sister, Prince Mary, they do not find him into the list of wounded or dead people of war, realizes that he has been dead, but Prince Andrew arrives at home fully recovered and he finds his wife, little princess, in the labor. He briefly sees her before she dies, though the boy survives. Our little Nicholas, Prince Andrew, despite marital discord with wife, deeply cared for his his wife. But when he lost his wife, he gets really depressed. He completely abandons his wartime ambition. He chooses to spend some more time on raising his son and at his home under the guidance of his strict father, old Prince Bolonsky. In 1809, Prince Andrew is introduced to Natasha in a ball, a young, charming, and wave-like beauty, to whom he, at the first beginning, likes her, but old Prince Bolonsky does not agree to the relationship. He found Rostovs socially inferior to them. Therefore, he doesn't like this proposal at all. To postpone the marriage, this old Prince Bolonsky demands that they should wait for 1 year before getting married. Prince Andrew proposes Natasha, who happily accepts the marriage proposal of Prince Andrew, but she really gets irritated with the condition of 1 year to get married. During this 1 year, Prince Andrew tours Europe and eventually finds a tutor for his son. In the in the meantime, Natasha, who is living a miserable life in the absence of Prince Andrew, as she could not get married to Prince Andrew, she suddenly fails in the charm of falls in the charm of Prince Anatole Kurgin, the son of Prince Vasily Kurgin. She breaks off her marriage with Prince Andrew and plans to elope with Anatole Kurgin. But eventually, she was saved from eloping by the alert cousin Sonia, who suspected Anatole's intention. Later, they find out that Anatole is already married to a Polish woman. After arriving from Europe, Andrew comes to know about the what happened to Natasha and her episode of elopement with Anatole and everything. He seeks to revenge Anatole, as he was the one who is the responsible for the breaking of engagement with Natasha, but he could not find him as Anatole was already left Moscow and has gone to Pittsburgh. Again heartbroken in love, Prince Andrew gets himself deployed in the role of regimental commander, where he was at the front of war with the Napoleonic army. Natasha, her condition has also gone miserable, as she gets betrayed by Anatole and she has broken her engagement with Prince Andrew as well. Natasha finds depressed over the way situations and events have gone in her life. Eventually, she attempts suicide, but she is saved in the right time. On the other hand, in the Battle of Borodino, where Prince Andrew is in the front command, Prince Andrew gets seriously wounded by a shell. In the medical camp, he again sees Anatole, who was responsible for his broken engagement. He sees Anatole, whose leg, who has also been participant of war, whose legs were amputated. He eventually forgives Anatole and Natasha too, and he realizes that he still loves Natasha. Wounded he is driven back to Moscow, which was being deserted in the wake of Moscow invasion by Napoleon. Natasha, who along with her family was moving out of Moscow, again finds Andrew among wounded soldiers and keeps on attending and nursing him with utmost care. They again reunited, but eventually Prince Andrew loses the hope and will to live and dies in the presence of Natasha and his sister, Princess Mary. Natasha again gets heartbroken after reuniting and reuniting with Prince Andrew, and the Prince Andrew dies. That leaves Natasha heartbroken and depressed. But when French forces were leaving army, she meets Count Bazukov Pierre, who has recently been freed from the captivation, as he was also a prisoner of French army. Pierre, who has always loved Natasha, finally confesses his love to Princess Mary, with whom on that time Natasha was living in Moscow. Princess Mary, understanding understanding the situation and understanding the affection of Natasha towards Pierre, plays role in getting them married. Natasha's brother Nicholas Rostov, whose financial condition is weakening each day, finds love in Princess Mary, and they both finds love in each other. Eventually, all live happy life. Natasha and Pierre and Nicholas Rustow and Princess Mary, and they live a very happy life. All this happens in the backdrop of Napoleonic war with Russia. and it forms the major theme of the novel. Here we see many other characters who are real character, as well as Prince Kutuzov. He was the commander in general commander, and many other characters who are real. So this novel is the blend of realistic as well as fictional characters. So this novel is, uh, I should say, one should read this novel for once at least in life. They will get a good understanding of the way Leo Tolstoy explores life through his characters. Thank you so much. ठीक है, बंद कर दूं? अभी भी रिकॉर्डिंग हो रही है।